What is up, everybody? Welcome to another fresh take. And I know you can't see him, but I got a good buddy of mine, Mr. Brandon Poole, with me. How you doing?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Sorry, I don't have a camera yet. I'm poor. That's Now, what's going on? I mean, next time I come on here with you, Jay, man, I should have a camera by then, so
All right,
everybody can see my beautiful face.
cool. And I should have a green screen by then, so I could have background instead of the background you're seeing, which I'm pretty sure you don't want to see. So that being said, we're
What?
talking about the
Hey, you know
Netflix.
what?
Yeah.
You have a background of the wonderful Mortal Kombat movie
Don't
playing in
make
the
me
back.
don't make me cuss you out. Don't make me cuss you out.
I'm playing. I'm
Don't make
joking.
me cut you out on this song. They already seen that. They already seen what I thought about Mortal Kombat. And if you haven't,
I
you can
saw
see
that too. I
So,
saw that too, y'all. You had me rolling with that.
but that being said, we're gonna be taking a look at the Netflix original animated series season of Yasuke. And
Yes.
before anybody says anything, I'm going to break this down because I've seen some people that hate it, and I understand why, but I think they
Mhm.
were looking for the wrong thing. All right. So a little bit of a background. Yasuke is based on a real figure from history. I'm not gonna try to say his real name because
Because
I
there's a lot going
yeah,
on.
it's long and I can't say it. But he was someone who was I ain't gonna say sold into Portuguese slavery, but he got caught up into Portuguese slavery. It was one of those situations where he wasn't sold, he was kind of captured, and
Mhm.
depending on what version of the story you're reading, he was put in a situation in which he couldn't say no, so he had to go with him. And I'll just leave it at that.
And it looked like it benefited it would have benefited him rather than the form of him having to do
What he
things
would have had
probably
to do.
what he would have
Yeah.
had to do, which was literally kill everybody. And yeah.
Yeah, that's literally what we would have had to do. And the thing
Right.
was, they couldn't. The Portuguese slavers that caught him could not afford to actually like put him in chains because he could actually translate better than their translators. So he already knew like three languages. I think it was Portuguese, Italian, and Spanish. I think it was. I can't remember what the other one was, but there's a lot about the character of Yasuke that you can learn. It's a lot of information out there if you want to look it up.
So
I'm
he
not going to go into
traveled.
that now.
He was a traveler, right?
What his grandfather was,
Okay.
according to some historical notations, his grandfather was. That's how he learned how to speak those languages.
Okay.
So
Okay.
at least that's what I read when I was doing my research on him. But in the late 1500s, he comes to Japan with a Jesuit priest, and they were selling goods on the in the harbor. Now, the thing about Japan, yeah, Japan was very isolationist, but on the ports, they allowed people to come in to sell because it's so you can't be a country and not trade. There's just you won't
That's bad
thrive.
business if you
Yeah.
yeah,
So
it's a bad yeah, it's bad for business. You got to trade.
yeah.
And
So
sometimes slavery was one of those things, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and the other thing too is they weren't letting you all the way in the country. You could only stay on the beaches and the port. You couldn't leave
Mhm.
outside of that. So Nobunaga, Oda Nobunaga was known to come to the ports and all of that, and that's where kind of like the series kind of starts a little bit because the way they break it down is they break it down to present and past. Now the stuff that they show in the past is the historical fiction stuff. That's the stuff that we kind of know from reading the 2 to 3 years that they wrote that he was in Nobunaga's court,
Right.
essentially. And the present day stuff is full on Attack on Titan anime. I don't know
uh,
what else to say,
so
man.
like I want to give you my initial impressions if I can.
Yeah, go for it.
So okay, so I'm gonna walk it back just a little bit. It's not gonna take me long. So when I first heard about it, I know me and you were having a conversation because we wanted a live action film of this years back, right?
And Chadwick Boseman was trying to get it done before
exactly.
he passed. Yeah,
Chadwick Boseman was trying to get it done, and I believe what's his name? Old boy director from Black Panther. They was trying to. Ryan Coogler was in on this as well. Correct?
Yeah. The reason why I was so happy that Black Panther did well at the box office because it proved that one, you can do these types of films. Hollywood was not going to okay this one or the Mansa Musa one that they currently trying to get into production if Black Panther does not do well. So all of y'all that's saying Black Panther some coon stuff and it's all this, really y'all need to check yourselves with that. Because
I agree.
If this does not happen, if Luke Cage does not happen, you do not get Black Lightning. If Black Panther does not happen, you're not getting Yasuke. You're not getting there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of projects that they're talking about doing that have been greenlit. They're just waiting on writers and directors that would not have happened had Black Panther not made $1.3 billion at the box office. And
this is all facts. This is all facts. So my initial reaction. So when I saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh shit, Lakeith Stanfield doing a voice." I was like, because I'm thinking about his voice, right? I'm like, I don't know if that would sound right for something like this, right? But I was like, but I was still on board because I like Lakeith. He's a weirdo, but I like him.
Yeah,
he is a weirdo though.
Very talented actor.
Very talented brother.
Yeah.
So my initial reactions was in the very beginning, like episode 1, I really wasn't feeling Lakeith's voice because I thought it was a mismatch. But once I started once I got into episode 2, then it clicked for me, and I was like, okay, all right, now I see what they're doing with it, and I ended up loving his voice as Yasuke. I didn't like it at first. I don't know if I had to. I don't know if he was I don't know if it was off-putting to me in the beginning, and I just had to get acclimated to it, or what. But that was my initial impression. Was Lakeith Stanfield's voice, but I thought it ended up being very dope, very, very good.
He did a great job, in my opinion.
I mean, because I would have thought they would have had something like more of an African accent actor voice. That's what I was thinking.
I can see that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so in my mind, I was getting a like the guy that did the voice for Choja.
Oh yeah.
The black dude. See, so his African, like that voice sounded perfect for that character. So I was expecting that for Yasuke, but I didn't get that. I got more of an American accent. I was like, it's a little off-putting, but then I started liking it because he really did his voice really, really well. He went deeper octaves with it.
He
and everything.
did. Yeah, he did. So, I noticed that.
Yeah,
I noticed that. I also like that most of the Asian cast was actually Asian.
Facts. That was cool too.
Yeah, because normally, let's be honest, when they do these, they do not do that. They don't.
No, they don't. You're right. They normally don't do that. Who was the only white people was the what is it, the witch demon and the robot? Right?
I think so. Yeah. Because out of the cast, and
because I was looking at the cast, what is it? Daimyo, that witch demon lady?
Yeah.
That was played by Amy Hill.
Yeah.
And Haruto, Darren Criss.
Yeah, but everybody else that had a point, they were all like the Asian people were actually Asian, which I thank God. Because usually that could go so wrong. That could go so wrong. But yeah, actually that's one thing I did. Like I think the voice cast was actually done very well.
Yes.
I thought it worked.
Yeah, okay.
I thought the cast was worked. I like Lakeith Stanfield's take on it because, and I think the reason why I liked it is because if he's been with the Jesuits for 6-7 years at that point, I don't think he would. I think he would have kind of lost his accent a little bit.
Good point.
So I think it kind of works on that level. Just on that level, though.
I can see that because in this world that we're being presented to, everybody speaks English. But
yeah,
honestly, at that time, what were they speaking? It's probably speaking Japanese.
They're probably speaking like when you went to Japan, you spoke Japanese,
right?
You weren't speaking nothing else. You were speaking Japanese.
You weren't speaking. People that are from Japan don't know Mandarin. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's two totally different things going on, Mike.
Yeah. So another thing I think that actually works for this series is Mappa, Studio Mappa, the studio that does Attack on Titan. They know how to put together an action sequence.
Slow hand clap for those guys, man. My goodness.
And they brought some of the camera movement, some of the stuff that they've done on Attack on Titan and other animes. They have brought that to this, and I think it works. It just does. Because you can say what you want to. You are not bored. You should not be bored in Yasuke. If somebody telling you this is boring, I don't know what to say because I was not bored.
There was no boring fight scenes. Who said that? Wait a minute. Those are haters.
Yeah.
So come on, bro.
I've heard that.
Those are haters.
Did we watch the same show? Because I didn't. One of my favorite fights was the one they showed when Yasuke went with the other samurais to Hattori Hanzo and the Iga. And basically the Eagle was like, man, the hell with y'all, man, the hell with Nobunaga. He ain't keeping close to Japanese tradition. Basically, the hell with all y'all. Give us the black dude, and we'll think about it. And they thought that they wanted that smoke.
But clearly they did. And,
clearly they did not.
And you want to know what else I liked? What I really liked about it, not the most, but just one of the many things that I liked about this, and I kind of wish it was longer, honestly, to kind of flesh out the story more. But I get it, first season, maybe we'll get more episodes if they do another season, right?
Yeah.
So what I like, man, was I like the honesty in how Yasuke was looked at in Japan. They don't really do that in cartoons like that. So I liked that they actually was like there was the honesty of him being an outsider, and they played on that.
Yeah.
And it just showed, and it showed his it really showed his resolve and his thing as a his being as a person, even though he was looked at an outsider. And it showed his it really showed how badass he was, because I'm thinking because for people to really not like him, they didn't run up on him.
No, they
tell you that.
They didn't. I mean, Nobunaga, it's been notated that Nobunaga had a fascination with him because of he had never seen an African person. Mm-hmm. And then they got to talking, and he's picked up the language. Yeah, he picked it up. And so Nobunaga was already like, okay, this is interesting. Then he saw him fight. And that's when he was like, okay, yeah, this is my boy. And then one of y'all touch him.
Well, he ain't never seen nobody that big either.
Yeah,
that's another thing.
Supposedly he was like 6'7". Supposedly Yasuke was like 6'7". So he's a full foot taller than everybody else. That's why they called him the Black Giant.
And people back then, like biologically, were just shorter anyway.
Yeah.
Especially Asian men,
like
Asian
5'5".
European. Yeah. They were super short. Yeah, they were super short people. But over time, once a lot of crossbreeding and a lot of these Americans, that's why these motherfuckers here 8'7" and shit like that.
Yeah, but I think, and that's another thing that they did do as well. Like, there were some people who they were just interested by him, and then you had other people that were just like they were stuck in their ways. Now I'll bump you. You a slave. You always were gonna be a slave. And the thing was, Nobunaga was like, he ain't. And he made him a samurai, which pissed a lot of people off. Well, the old heads anyway.
I mean, I mean, he was. I mean, I'm like those dudes are such a hater on the show. It was like, okay, so you keep saying that, but you don't really
You
pull
don't
up
run up on
though.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't really pull up though, because that's what let me know that they ain't stupid,
Yeah.
and that let me know how much of a skilled fighter. Because think about it, if you're an outsider and you are trash at being a warrior, you're dead within the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, because back then, with the amount of assassinations was going on during the 100 Years' War, bruh, he would have never made it to the castle.
16th, look, motherfuckers, look, dudes back in the 16th century did not play.
No, they didn't.
Like
they would kill you in the street. Like they would straight up kill you in the street.
To show examples with whether it's your dog, your kids, it don't matter. They gonna make a scene. Like, I mean, there's a lot of savages back in the 16th century, man.
I mean, the first episode, Samurai was about to kill a kid.
Yeah,
straight up finna murk him in the middle of in the front of everybody in the middle of the street.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. But that stuff like that happened. If you disrespected somebody, they handled you right there. And samurais could do that because that's the way it was. And Yasuke showed them that cats know how to fight out here in these streets. So fight a grown man, and that has some parallels to what we see going on now. You see some tough guys love to mess with people not their size and not as skilled as they are, but they will never run up on somebody of equal skill or bigger size. We've seen that with viral videos. I'm not gonna say who, but we know why. But
look, can we get into what I didn't like?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna go.
Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah. No, but you go ahead. I'm sorry. I mean to interrupt.
Oh well, no, because the thing I will say is the thing that I one of the main things I don't like is the fact that it's such a jarring change from past to present. There ain't no damn robots in the 16th century.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Because I got to speak my piece, but I'm gonna let you finish though. I'm gonna let you finish your thoughts.
One of my favorite animes is historical fiction animes is Rurouni Kenshin. If you've seen Rurouni Kenshin, you know what I'm talking about. They did that series was a great job doing what we call historical fiction. Yasuke, for all I like about it, and I actually do like that robot. That robot is hilarious, the way they play him off. But the fact of the matter is, why is there a fully functioning robot in 16th century Japan? I can suspend my disbelief,
and people
are only so far.
There's no cars, but you have mechs. That was a major problem for me. I don't know why. I was fixated on that, but that was a major problem for me. But can I say this though? Mm-hmm. Few things I did not. That it kind of was like what? Like I was waiting for this, and you give me this. So I think along with other people, it was a little bit more. They were a little bit more extra with it, but I ended up accepting it more than other people. I was wanting a more historic story from a historical aspect, and I think a lot of people were thinking that when you hear First Black Samurai, the way they promoted it,
Yasuke, and you know it's a real story,
and then you know it's based on a real story, a real ruler, a real person, a real warrior, right? So when the mechs and the demons and magic and all that bullshit came up, they kind of ruined my thing of no historical shit. Okay, but then no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you say?
Yeah, I mean you're right. Yeah, because that was a problem. Yeah,
I gotta be honest. Like, dude, when I saw the mech that I ended up liking later on in the show, like I was like, yo, he's kind of funny, right?
Yeah,
this got kind of cool. I gotta be honest. When I first laid eyes on it, I rolled my eyes so hard I went to sleep.
I mean, because it came out of
it came out of nowhere. Like, I mean, if you're gonna give us a futuristic setting, Lakeith, or not Lakeith, but
LaShawn Thomas. LaShawn
LaShawn.
Thomas. Yeah.
Put
You
put
it
mechs in the city. Like
Yeah.
do futuristic shit like as soon as we get here.
And
in
don't
this
say
world.
1584.
And don't say 15.
that.
Yeah, don't say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can.
Well, no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. If you're gonna do historical fiction, you need
if you're gonna do historical fiction, but then I forgot. I was like, wait a minute. This guy's the same dude that did that other anime on Netflix, right?
Which one? Cannon Busters?
Cannon Busters.
Yeah.
I was like, there we go.
He has a style.
So at the very least, I can't get mad at him, right?
Yeah.
Consistency. So I can't get so mad at the brother. But like I guess maybe I think a lot of us was expecting something different, but I ended up I thank God I ended up liking it. I ended up loving it.
I think the issue for me is I've watched so much anime, I was expecting that. Especially when I saw the when they showed that clip in the trailer of the Spider Lady and all them demons, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna get wild at some point.
See, I could have got with the demons a little bit because I could have been normal. Like because that's normal because that's the spirituality stuff, and I'm thinking Yasuke with his him being from Africa, he already got some voodoo is spiritualistic stuff going on anyway.
And they got a voodoo character in there from Benin.
Exactly. So I wasn't mad at that because I knew they was going to do something.
Yeah, but the robot was.
But the robot was so unnecessary.
Yeah, they should have just had another character. They should have just had another character.
I feel like they cut out a lot of stuff. I feel like there was some stuff probably cut out. Maybe it could have been because of the pandemic. I don't know. I feel like that the story there was some parts that was cut out, and then they had a deadline. And I think that's why we only got 6 episodes. Because normally Netflix will grant. Because Cannon Busters got how many episodes?
10, I think. It was 10.
Right. Yeah. So it's not like LaShawn Thomas. Ain't like he's some new kid on the block. Like he's well known dude.
And Cannon Busters, from what I understand, did okay for Netflix. So
I didn't watch all of it, but I couldn't really get into it. It was hard for me to get into.
I did, but I understand the reason why people had problems with it, and I'll probably talk about that one at a later date. But I enjoyed it for what it was. But yeah, I understand why people didn't like that one.
I wasn't mad at it. I was like, because it's like any other anime. You watch an episode or two, and then you realize if it don't grab you, it's just not for you.
Yeah, and there's so much anime nowadays. If you can't grab me within the first 3 or 4 episodes, man, I'm done. I'm out.
Bro, I'm old. If you can't grab my attention, this is with whether it's TV shows, video games, comics, whatever you want to look. If you don't capture my attention early, you'll never catch my attention because there's too much. It's too many options going on. There's too many options out here, bro. So
which I think the growing pains from Cannon Busters to this, I think he did a better job of grabbing people's attention because I don't think even the people that complain about it, they all finished it. So
yeah, I saw this one YouTuber. He said he said it was bad. He said it was bad. It wasn't good at all. And I'm like, okay, now you're being a little emotional. I think we said I don't think it was bad. I could see people not. I could definitely see people not liking it as much as I did.
Yeah, if you're not an anime head,
and if you're not an animated head, and you're like, wait a minute, I was coming for some African historic content, and I'm seeing Transformers.
Yeah, and a Russian werewolf lady that loves to bone
to eat
small dudes.
Yeah, so somebody that doesn't really understand the culture of anime ended up hating it.
I can understand that.
You have to understand that, right?
Yeah, I can understand that. I can't fault him for that. Because the thing is, like the stuff that I didn't like about it, as somebody who likes anime and likes action anime and supernatural anime, I thought that it could have been better. And like you said, there's clearly some stuff that's left on the cutting room floor.
Had to, man. Had to.
I don't think that it's one of those horrible experiences, but I do think that it's one of those ones where if you if you don't like anime, you're not gonna. This ain't gonna be the thing to change your mind. This ain't.
If you are African American and you like to see some content and representation, what better way to get a polar opposite of what you're used to getting and seeing a animated character loosely based on a real person with dope action fighting scenes. It seems like it's so like I really it like it kind of bothered me when I saw people like when I saw black people like kind of like shitting on it a little bit.
Yeah. And one thing we haven't talked about, which we need to, Flying Lotus and that musical score.
Oh, the score. Hold on.
Yeah.
And I'm biased because I'm a Flying Lotus head. I like his music. Always have. I'm a fan of Madlib. I'm a fan of that type of hip hop.
Yeah,
music. And it worked with that world is
yeah.
that world. It's perfect.
And when you see the animation paired with the music, bruh, yeah, if y'all liked what RZA did for Afro Samurai, I don't see why you wouldn't like what Flying Lotus did for Yasuke.
Some people don't like the whole hip hop with historical.
Yeah, they can go somewhere. They can go somewhere.
Yo, hip hop mixed in with whatever you're watching is the dopest shit ever. Whether it's skateboard videos, whether it's NBA dunks on YouTube.
Okay, can we keep it a buck here? Can we keep it a buck here?
Sure.
There are so many rappers on YouTube and Vimeo that do straight up nerd anime stuff that are hotter than half of the people that you listen to on the radio. Daddy Fat Snaps, Rustage, Divide Music, None Like Joshua, Game Boy Jones, Screwface John. I can keep going. So to say that this doesn't fit with, I don't know where you've been the last 15 years, but nah, bro. Hip hop mixes and meshes well with everything.
It really does. Like, I mean, it really does, especially for action sequences. Come on, man.
I mean, Nelly and Tim McGraw. Y'all didn't think that joke was gonna work? That was a #1 single for how many weeks on the Billboard? Damn near over a year. Back in 2003.
Quick sidebar. I see why Nelly left hip hop for country music because that's where the money is.
But that marriage though.
But that marriage made it work, right?
I mean, hell, that's what I'm like. Look, I see people get mad about that, but I'm like, dude, to me, Flying Lotus knocked it out of the park. I hadn't heard a soundtrack this good for a show since Afro Samurai, and y'all know what RZA did for that one. I was waiting for Wu-Tang to make a whole album off of that. To be honest.
Do you listen to Flying Lotus albums, instrumental albums?
Mm-hmm.
Man, he's got some amazing stuff. Man.
And they did release the featurette on YouTube on Netflix's page for his music, and I'm like, bruh, like what?
Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing.
Like, dude's amazing. Yeah. So I mean, overall. I guess my rating, I had to break this into two parts because I understand where the people coming from. They're like, oh, Black Samurai, oh, this is a real person. Yeah, you're not getting that. I'm not gonna lie to you, you're not getting that. Now, that being said, they do the flashback parts are all flashbacks of stuff that has been written in history. Mm-hmm. All of it that's in the show. They left a couple things out, but all of it that's in the show is stuff that's in history. The present stuff, they didn't do that. But the reason why,
you know what? Also, people didn't like Nobunaga being a LGBT.
Okay, all right. Let me go on and explain that. Let me go and explain that because
I saw a lot of haters. I saw a lot of see. Look at them. They trying to do all of this.
That's not what that is.
First of all, kids should be watching Yasuke. I don't think.
Anyway, that's no.
That is an adult animation.
Yeah. So back in that time, you got to understand, Japan had been fighting for over 100 years straight. And back then the lords, they all had a what they call a traditional male lover. That is fact. So from what I read about it, yeah, because Nobunaga had a lot of kids. He had a lot of wives and a lot of kids and a lot of concubines, and he had a male lover. Now you didn't have to have a male lover from what I read, but
he's a freak.
Yeah.
Let's say what it is. Nobunaga, he was
he
a
liked it
wild.
all.
Yeah, he was a wild dude.
He was wild.
Yeah, he was out there.
But and that was the thing. So when people were saying that, I'm like, but if you actually read history, you would know that that's not that's actually fact. If you read history, that he wasn't the only one that had that. They had a traditional role for people like that. So that's not something they put in for the quote unquote woke crowd. No, that's actually fact. So some of y'all need to do a little bit of research. I mean, it ain't that hard because I've been reading about they actually have on Netflix and a documentary series talking about samurais and Nobunaga. They talk about him heavily the first 3 episodes, but for some reason Yasuke was not mentioned in it, and I don't know why they didn't do that. I'm guessing they had to cut that. But
you know what's crazy? I don't know. I will never understand why people think that gay people just came out recently.
I mean, look at if go back and read about Roman bathhouses, and that should read about Roman bathhouses.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
just read about Roman bathhouses.
I mean, like it's always been a thing, but like, yo, I saw like a lot of I saw on social media. I saw a lot of like
people were mad about it. Yeah,
they were trying to like. I saw people trying to create a conspiracy,
and it really ain't.
And it's like, okay,
no,
okay, I don't think that was a.
That's what they did. I mean,
that was kind of normal. I mean, maybe not normal, but it wasn't like people didn't do it. Like people knew.
People knew.
Yeah, people knew. But I mean, but who's gonna say something against Nobunaga?
Yeah, because Nobunaga, there's 2 camps of Nobunaga. There's people who call him the Great Unifier, and the people who call him the Demon King. He was both. He killed women, children, and everybody. I mean, you saw what he did to the Iga clan. They showed it in there.
Yeah.
That was women and children in there.
Yeah.
I mean, and yes, he did. He broke a lot of conventional, traditional Japanese norms. Like he wasn't supposed to have women on the battlefield, and he had women in his employ that fought, and you weren't supposed to do that. Hence, you were supposed to been, you have your wives and your concubines, but you had that too. So it is what it is. But I saw that and I just started laughing because I'm like, y'all really don't read. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. But
they're Americans, of course they don't read.
You said it, not me. On the anime side, if you're an anime head, I think you can find something to like about it. If you are somebody looking for that historical fiction, you're better off reading about them because yes, while they do show certain stuff that happened that's known to history, they don't go into all of it, and that's not what this is about.
Right. They went a more fictional fantasy route with it. But hey, look, this is for if you like action, if you like if you like fighting scenes, I mean, hey, like
Studio Mappa does some of the best stuff.
Yeah.
Out there. They just do. So.
I think they could convert people into watching more anime.
Possibly. Depending on what it is. Now, just like we said before, this is not for kids. So parents, I'm telling you now, there is a lot of blood and gore.
Yes.
I'm talking about, and by gore, I don't mean, they chopped the head off. They chopped the arm off. No disembowelment with the gut spilling out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is this is 16th century Japan, folks.
Yeah. You're gonna get some crazy.
I mean, that's how they got down, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's just how it is. You're gonna see people get swords through their mouths.
Yeah.
I mean, your kids should not watch this. No.
Well, let me clarify. 16th century Japan did not have robots. Let me clear that up.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say because I wasn't there. However, I think I can say confidently that it wasn't.
It's not recorded in history. We'll put it like that. So, But yeah,
Fair enough.
but yeah, I think if you like anime, you can enjoy it.
Absolutely.
If you don't, I don't think you'll find anything outside of those flashback sequences that will probably, that you'll probably like. And then that's just being honest. But as somebody who's a fan of anime and animation, I think this gets like a high matinee to me. Something that you can just watch, and it's easily bingeable because the episodes don't go over 30 minutes. Now, one episode goes over 30 minutes, but you cannot sit down and watch this with your 10-year-old.
No.
No. Your 17-year-old, yeah. Your 10-year-old, no.
Absolutely not.
Your mama gonna get mad at you. Your wife gonna get mad at you. Your grandparents gonna get mad at you. Just don't do it.
Everybody gonna get mad.
Yeah, just don't even do it. But I enjoyed it, and I think the fans of the genre will too. Your final thoughts, Brandon?
Great series. I hope they bring on season 2. I would like for them to do much better with fleshing out the characters because I need more than 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, that's all I have to add to that, man.
Yeah. Now, I will say this: if you do want to read up about them, you can find there's a lot of literature about him. I even found a couple books off Amazon that you can read about him from what they have written. The thing about it is, after the fall of Nobunaga, he does try to help his son, Akechi Mitsuhide, who plays the main villain in this. He never fights him head up. He tells him to go. He's not really a samurai and to go back to the Jesuits. He does go back to the Jesuits, but the stuff that I've read about him, the story stops there. They never said he got on the boat. So I don't think he left Japan. It wouldn't have been smart for him to leave Japan because how do you go from being a samurai with, dignity, nobility, and all of this to go back to being a slave? Nobody in their right mind to do that.
No, nobody does that.
So I don't think he got back on that boat, but we don't know. I think he stayed in Japan and probably died fighting, probably because the wars didn't stop at that point. I mean, Tokugawa does wind up ascending and unifying all of Japan, but it's like another 10 years before that happens. So after Nobunaga dies, so yeah, I mean. It's just one of those situations. We don't know from a historical standpoint if he left with the Jesuits. We just know he got sent back to them because once again, none of Nobunaga's overtainers, the samurais who were fighting for control, would fight him head up.
Right.
That's fact. We just know they sent him back. So I don't, and it's also known that him and Nobunaga were indeed very good friends, very close. So they wouldn't. Nobunaga gave him that title, and nobody could take it from him, and nobody would fight him to take it from him either. So that should tell you something too.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's all for this fresh take. Hope you guys liked the review, the discussion. Leave a comment. Let me know if you guys are gonna check it out. What your thoughts were. Do you think that Flying Lotus should go on and drop that soundtrack digitally so everybody can get it? And we'll see you guys on the next fresh take. Peace out, peeps.
Later.